Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the I'm Local podcast. This podcast features local individuals in Henry County and small businesses in Henry County. And today I have the privilege of speaking with Mr. Thomas White, the Deputy Administrator of Recreation for Henry County. And Thomas, welcome to the podcast.
Man, thank you. I am so honored to be here. I've seen some of your episodes in the past and just your past guest. I am just honored to be counted among them. So thank you.
Oh no, it's an honor for me. I mean, I've heard so much about you in Henry County, and it's great to really meet people. And like you said, before when we were offline, we're Facebook friends. However, we've passed in the room a couple times, but really never connected. So I'm glad Lori put this together so we could connect and kind of get to know your story. So I'm interested. I am so interested in your story and how, you got to Parks and Rec, how you started, so let's start from the beginning and kind of like what was your journey like getting to this point where you are right now?
Well, that's a complicated question. I grew up in a small town in South Georgia. Parks and Rec, the department was ran by one person in this small town. It's called Blakely, Georgia. It's in Early County. It's about 15 minutes from Alabama and 30 from Florida in Southwest Georgia. Really, really small town. The only thing we're known for are the peanut butter scandal a few years ago. Well, I guess that was 2 decades ago now. But I grew up in this small town. I wasn't really into athletics, in a small town, Parks and Rec, they're going to focus on mainly athletics because that's what the majority of the people go to. I was not into athletics. I caught a baseball once when I was 7 years old. I was so excited about it, and that's the only experience I've had with athletics. I did join a football team one time. I had maybe 5 minutes of playtime the entire season. So I can't really count that. But I caught that ball once when I was
That's
7 years old. But I remembered that Parks and Rec was a place for people to gather, even those that weren't playing in the sports. It's where we came and we met each other and we had fun watching our friends play or in the church leagues, watching our parents play, that sort of thing. And so it's where we all gathered. Despite not being interested in athletics, I still remember that positive part of it. But my path took kind of a negative turn when I graduated high school. I went to college. First taste of freedom, I went crazy. I went crazy. I wound up partying every night, flunked out with a 1.6 GPA from Valdosta State University. 1.6 GPA. And I knew I didn't want to move back to that small town. So I had to figure out what to do from there. And time went on. I sold cars for a little bit. That didn't work out. And I was nearing to where I couldn't pay my rent. I was 3 weeks from homelessness. And I just took the first job that was available to me. And I thought I was applying for the county jail. Turns out I was not. When I got there, I was at the maximum or the close security prison in Valdosta, Georgia, Valdosta State Prison. And I started my career in 2007 with Georgia Department of Corrections. And I worked there for 13 years.
wow.
And talk about a grow up experience.
I can
I
imagine.
was 100% that kid that had flunked out of college, but then I'm in an atmosphere to where danger's surrounding me and I have to quickly figure out things. I was stabbed, hit in the head with a lock, thrown down a flight of stairs. I had 2 spine surgeries and a shoulder surgery. My
Ooh,
last week with the Department of Corrections and my last duty station was acting chief of security at the High Max in Jackson, Georgia. My last week there, I had feces thrown on me 4 times, feces and urine thrown on me 4 times.
man.
So, needless to say, it forces you to grow up. It forces you to
Yes.
grow up. But during that time, I went back to college. I got my bachelor's and got my master's, wound up graduating with a 4.0 for my master's. So, that 1.6 to that 4.0, that's something I brag about. I'm not
Yes.
going to lie.
Yes.
I
Yes.
do brag about
Go
that.
for it.
Yeah, definitely 100%. So, I was working in the Department of Corrections, and my degrees are in political science, public administration. I knew I wanted to work in government. I have this passion for making government the best it can be for the people that we serve. The
Yes.
people give us their trust. And so I want to be that public servant that they know they can rely on. And I want to shed the light on all the amazing public servants that are out there, especially here in Henry County.
Right. Yes.
During in the prison system, working in the prison system, I really couldn't do that. I saw so many people that were in high max that had originally got a 1 to 2 year sentence for drug charges, but had committed another crime in prison while trying to defend themselves, and then wound up in high max and never will get out of prison again.
No.
And they're on 23-hour lockdown every single day. They get 1 hour a day, and I saw that. And I was, man, this is,
Yeah.
if somebody had just intervened in this person's life, because a lot of those people that are in there for drug crimes, they didn't know any different. That was all they had been raised around. People in their late teens, early 20s, it's the only thing they had been raised around. They had really no concept of other occupations or other lifestyles because that's all they had been surrounded with. Most of them were high school dropouts. Their family had been involved in crime. They got involved in crime, especially the drugs. And they wound up making one mistake, and now they're in there the entirety of their life.
Man,
The
that
prison system, I'm sorry.
no, no, no. I was going to say that is so. I mean, it's so dramatic. I mean, you go from, like you said, this would be all that they know about, in there for 2 years, and then having to defend yourself, and that could be anybody, because you if you're in a high max prison, things are going to happen, and you got to defend yourself, and now you're in there for life. That's
It blows my mind.
that's life changing, man. That is. I mean, I know that's detrimental, and I know it happens every day.
And the Department of Corrections exists to rehabilitate. And it does. I worked at a facility for 4 years that was focused on drug prevention, and it was a great facility. Department of Corrections has a lot of great options for rehabilitation, but it's still reactive.
Right.
It's trying to help somebody after they have committed the crime or after they've made the mistake that they made.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like I couldn't really make a difference there. But I remembered that impact that Parks and Rec had on my life when I was younger. I felt like I could make a difference in local government, and I specifically remembered Parks and Rec. Not only that, but I had seen the TV show Parks and Recreation, and the main character on there, her name is Leslie Knope, and it's a comedy, it's a sitcom, it's hilarious, it's a mockumentary style sitcom like The Office, and I knew Leslie Knope was such an idealistic person. I said, that is who I can be. I can be that government servant that believes what Leslie Knope believes, and I can make Parks and Rec be the proactive solution to what these people are facing where they don't have another outlet outside of what they normally see. And so I I took a part-time job. I quit the Department of Corrections, took a part-time job, and worked in that part-time job for 7 months, part-time job with the county, and then was promoted to special event coordinator with Parks and Recreation. And Lincoln, I'm going to tell you something right now that I cannot possibly overstate. I was, if not the worst, the second worst special event coordinator Parks and Recreation has ever had. But that's not really why they've hired me. They hired me to tell their story, to
Yes.
be involved in communications. And I wound up expanding a lot of programs. JP, Jonathan Penn, I know you've met Jonathan.
Yep.
JP he's amazing. He has all these ideas for reaching people. And my goal from the beginning has been to reach people that feel like they don't have a community. So you've got so many kids, so many adults for that matter, they're not interested in athletics, and that's our traditional offering. So I wanted to create programs for them all around my house, right up here, all around my house. You'll see Pokemon cards right now. And these Pokemon cards are sitting around my house because just this week we had 32,000 Pokemon cards donated to us so that we could start a Pokemon program to reach those kids that are not interested in athletics, that are interested in things more like this.
Yes.
And so for the next few weeks, me and one of my camp counselors are going to be sorting through these.
Oh,
But
wow, man.
that's what it's about. It's about creating a community for people that feel like they don't have one.
Yeah.
There's so many different people in Henry County, and I just want them to understand that their government is their government too.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? A lot of people, and you make a good point. A lot of people don't realize that and it's people like you that you're thinking outside the box. Like you said, you didn't have that athletic, that wasn't a part of you, but you were interested in other things. And just talking about the Pokemon and talking about those cards, how many kids and like you say, adults too are going to be excited just a program like that, because when you think about Parks and Rec, everybody thinks about, athletics and sports, and, and you got to be, and then some people, like you say, they may just be like, you know what, I'm not even interested in any of those programs. But it's amazing, how you're thinking outside the box and bringing in a whole different subset of people into Parks and Rec. That's amazing.
100%. Well, Parks and Rec, it's in a unique area in that we can reach people that other branches of the government can't, other departments in the government can't, because people are at parks or at our programs to have fun. They're not consciously thinking, "Hey, this is government." I
Right,
mean,
right.
they know it on some level, but they're not consciously thinking that. So that allows us to speak to people and figure out what they want, figure out what they need on a more intimate level, and then be able to offer it for them. And so we're in a really unique position in Parks and Rec, and that's why I say it can be the proactive solution. So we have a program called our Rec and Roll program, in which we go to the different housing authority complexes and we meet with different people, different kids that they don't have the money to get to us. They don't have the transportation,
Right.
rather, to get to us.
Yeah.
And so we take it to them. And just that little bit of being able to, and we get the police department to come with us, one comes with us, fire, and they just play with the kids. And they see a different aspect of life that they have never seen before.
Yeah, man.
That plants a seed and it opens up so much. And then when we can give them things like these Pokemon cards when we leave,
Right.
it's something that they remember.
Yeah. You know what? This is so amazing because, when you think about kids that, like you said, they may not have the transportation, they may not have the ability to get there, and you guys are serving them and going into the neighborhoods and actually being there, and they're seeing people that truly do care about, their well-being. And I know over the years that you've been in Parks and Rec, and you've been doing this and getting started with these programs, the amount of kids that, lives that have been changed just by maybe one or two instances that they came in contact with you guys. I mean, you may not know that. I know you know the impact because it impacted you, but you may not even hear from some of these kids that as they grow up and become adults, that they too may go into Parks and Rec. They too may, just because of that one instance or time that you guys came and talked to them and interacted with them, that changed the trajectory of their
That's
life
what
from
happened to
going down
me.
another
That's
path.
why I went into Parks and Rec. So yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm going to read you an email that a parent sent me one day. And the parent it's an adult creative writing class. She was in the creative writing class and her son was in the creative writing class. He was special needs. And she sent me this email, and this really shows the impact. I hope all's well. I missed the first 3 or 4 meetings of the Henry County Creative Writing Club, so I'm not sure how it came to be, but I'm writing to express my gratitude for its creation. I am so very grateful for such a supportive, judgment free space for creativity and self expression. I heard my son reading his writings on Tuesday, and I can't entirely express in words exactly what that did to my heart. He has had to face and overcome so many challenges in his short life, and I'm so happy to see the impact your club is having on him. He gets started on the assignments almost as soon as we get home from the meetings and is usually done by the next day, while I plod along for days. He was born prematurely at 24 weeks and weighed approximately 1 pound 4 ounces. The doctor told me several times during his 8 months hospitalization that he wouldn't survive the night, but God proved him wrong. He celebrated his 21st birthday back in January, but mentally he's probably just a teenager. Thank you for this space that is allowing him to express himself in his own way. When he told me years ago that he wanted to be a writer, I thought he only said that to please me, but hearing him read his creations has stilled the fear in my heart. I am happy he's found something to make him happy, and I can see him becoming a writer. Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. My son and I are looking forward to learning and growing as writers. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
And
We
that is,
say our goal is to change the world.
yes.
We change one person at a time, and then that person changes others, and that changes person changes others. But what we don't highlight a lot is how much our message these past 4 years has caught on around the state. We are being asked to attend conferences, workshops. I did 2 podcasts just last week, or no, it was the week before last,
Yeah.
that just focus on what Henry County is doing for other Parks and Rec professionals, and
Wow.
that's how we change the world. We're
Yes.
not just we're doing everything we can for the citizens of Henry County, everything we possibly can. And if we can find more, we want to do that. We
Yes,
want that energy, that willingness to work to spread to every Parks and Rec department in the nation and then every department in the world, because that's how you change the world. That's how
man.
you make that impact.
Think that this is I don't know how you don't break down into tears, like, all the time, like stories like what you just read, and how you're impacting people, like you said, it's starting in Henry County and it's going all over the world. I mean, that is so phenomenal, and I'm glad we're having this conversation because, you know people need to know. I mean, you with the amount of exposure that you're bringing into Henry County and what you're doing in the community, there's still a lot of people that still don't know what's going on and what's happening. I mean, this is so critically important to Henry County. And Thomas, I'm getting chill bumps here, man, just listening to how you're impacting so many people, and just going throughout your day, just blessing a lot, people every day.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel every day, man. Like those chill bumps, I feel it every day.
Yeah,
So in the past 2 weeks, we had Nerds World in McDonough, which is a gaming store in McDonough. They donated 12,000 Pokemon cards. And then yesterday, Atomic Gaming in Stockbridge donated 22,000 Pokemon cards. I was telling my leadership team about that, my director, JP, and my assistant director, Donna Holder, and then our other deputy administrators, Brian Dixon, Kevin Patterson, and Michelle Dunn. I was telling them about it, and literally I had to stop myself because I was getting choked up
yeah,
with the emotion. And
yeah.
that's every day. I don't feel like this is a job. I'm
I,
not
I was
working a
just going to
job.
ask you that. Yes,
I look forward to waking up in the morning and going to work.
yes,
This is a
yes,
passion. We're
man.
changing our community. We're making our community better. Special events, 30 to 40 special events every year. Our biggest event had over 20,000 people at it. 3 years ago,
Man.
when I was special event coordinator, I was getting like 1,000 at the top. And now, again, I was the second best, if not the worst. I mean, the second worst, if not the worst we've ever had. Let's
Oh,
keep that
no.
in mind. But 20, over 20,000 people, almost all of them from Henry County, meeting each other, getting to know each other. That's how we build community.
Yes,
That's how
yes,
we build
yes,
community.
yes, man. I can,
Sorry,
I
I
can.
told you I'd get passionate. My
No, no,
bad.
look, I can sense your passion. I can feel your passion, and that is real. And that's another thing too. A lot of people are in jobs or they're in places where they're not passionate about it and they're just going through the motions. That's not you, man. I could feel it. I could feel the passion, and we are lucky in Henry County to have somebody like you that is so passionate about what they do. And I know that's from the top down. I know JP, and I know that's from the top down, and everybody's so excited about this. Well, question I needed to ask you, I wanted to ask you. I know you're doing a lot, in the arts. Do you have like anything in place or thinking about anything for kids or adults kids that are they want to act, or they want to, maybe they want to be an actor in one day, or there's a play, or there's something like that. Anything like that for those kids?
We have started our community theater program. It's
Yeah,
called the Park Players.
yeah.
And we started it with just our homeschool group because right now we're doing homeschool program, and we started about a year and a half ago to reach all the homeschool families that don't have that social connection at school. And so we're trying to bring them together. They just finished their first performance the third week in May. I think it was May 17th, but don't
Okay.
quote me on the dates. I'm terrible. I have the worst memory in the world.
You're fine.
But it was led by a really talented individual that we brought on as an intern a year and a half ago. Her name's Kara Tomlinson. She has her associates in theater, though she left theater to work with Parks and Rec. So
Mm,
she's pursuing organizational leadership now. But she still brought that theater background to us.
yes.
And Savannah Keller, the same person that's helping me sort through the Pokemon cards. Both of them led our theater program, did a great job. Tina Foos, our homeschool program coordinator, and we did the performance at the Black Box Theater at Nash Farm. And our
Okay.
idea is to open it up to the community to where we'll have a full community theater program that's completely free for people to get involved, to watch, to attend, just so they can surround the arts.
Yes.
And you were talking about that passion.
Yes.
It's because almost everybody in Henry County government has that passion. Our county manager, Sherry Matthews, is probably one of the most inspirational, most passionate people you will ever meet. Our deputy county manager, Kevin Johnson, has been in this literally all his life.
Yes.
Like they have such a passion and they're bringing so much to it. And it's because of people like them and JP that we can do all these programs. They don't tell us no that often. Usually, when they tell us no, it's because I've done something stupid. Just heads up. I have been known to do that a few times, but we're able to do so much because people have that passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away again. I'm getting
No,
carried away again.
you
But our theater program, yes, to answer your original question, we do have a theater program that we're in the process of launching.
man, that's phenomenal because I know there are kids that have so much talent, or they don't even know that they have the talent until a program like this is launched, and then that just burst out of them. And I mean, you're gonna have superstars all over the world that are coming out of Henry County because of programs like this that you guys are putting together. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about what you're doing and what you're continuing to doing. I know Sherry personally also, and I know her passion. I
Right.
know, like I said, from the top down, it's really, really great to see like everything that you guys are doing and what you're implementing. So a couple more questions I got for you. Like, what does the future hold for Thomas? Like, where do you see your role with Henry County and in general? Where do you see yourself?
Sum it up really easy, doing more and more and more to help people, introducing more and more opportunities and programs to help people no matter what position I'm in. We just started our esports program
Yeah.
at North Mount Carmel Park with our new gaming room in the North Mount Carmel Rec Center. That is going to allow kids to tap into that 30 to 40 million dollars worth of scholarships for esports that are coming out every year that most people are not aware of. Most parents aren't aware of that. We grew up in the when video games were still there, but our parents were telling us, "Get off the video games, go
Go
outside."
outside. Right. Right.
But now there are scholarships available for it. I wish I could go back and tell my dad I told you so much right now just for that. Like, I missed that opportunity. That's your fault. You made me go outside. So, but just trying to help more and more people as much as I can and do everything I can to be a public servant.
Yeah. So, okay. So one last question I got for you. So there are kids that, are parents of kids that will probably stumble on this video. They'll watch this video and they will identify with, you know, your struggle and what you went through and moving forward. What advice do you have for kids right now, or the parents of some kids that they may be in your same boat at this exact time? What advice could you give to them?
Wow, that's a big question, but I'm gonna look right in the camera when I say this. Your biggest hurdle is always going to be you. Before you can go anywhere, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, "What am I doing? Am I doing what I need to do to get to where I want to be? Or am I allowing the circumstances I'm in, the world around me, to control me?" The truth is, you are enough right now to do whatever you want to do. You're enough to change. You're enough to grow. You're enough to grab that success that you want. You are enough to control your destiny. It just starts with facing yourself, facing the roadblocks that you have put up, and accepting that you are enough.
Man, that was powerful. And I hope this spreads all throughout Henry County, all throughout, the United States, all everywhere, because, the passion that you bring to what you do is infectious. And Henry County is lucky to have you, man. They are lucky to have you. And I'm gonna continue to reiterate that with people every time I talk to them. I know they know this, but that's something that I'm going to share with them. Thomas, I appreciate you for being on, taking the time to jump on today, and
Pleasure.
continue doing what you're doing. You are an inspiration to so many people that you know, and even people that you don't know. You are inspiring. So thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be here.
All right. Take care.